be kanaka be go motoka iri kuri nga kuri dika they are never checked bakuri ono gwa bali ku check ngono ndo ona Julius
angala kuno kuona nabo stand up
Let's find out. Wait.
hold on.
We are going to go through a small program. We'll start with singing our anthems because we are proud, and then from there we'll pray, and the meeting will begin. Can I ask we are going to start with the national anthem. Down one. Oh, Uganda, may God upholding, we lay our future in thy hands. United, free for liberty, together we always stand. Tuliba kabino yenga presidino, oraina ifono usogati bumba yebuwa, olwechira beche chikolo tweyimbenga, usogati renkerenga, esenese. Abantu mwena mukusoga mwidetisaninga, akulende lwese bantu, mano mutwe gwalife, mare tufuna omwoyo mwamufu, tugonza kanyenga. Enina ya Ugandeno etebenkele, tuliba kabino yenga presidino, oraina ifono usogati bumba yetuwa, olwechira beche chikolo tweyimbenga, usogati benkelenga, esenese. Praise. I think we can sing it too. Oh, Namibia, our country, we love the land of savannas, oh, the land of liberty. Namibia, our country, Namibia, our land, we love it.
Chairperson of the Traditional Authority Business Arm. And right beside His Majesty, it's retired Major General David Mbandeka. So he's one of the people that has been in charge of protecting all three presidents. So before he retired, so he's now a senior counsel, means like a chief under King Shumba, and he's also in charge of our protocol for this trip. And beside him there is also a senior counselor and a sub-chief from Chief Gaseb. And also, as we know that in each traditional authority on the chieftaincy, there is supposed to be a council. So he's chairing the council of Chief Gaseb Traditional Authority. And it's almost like the equal of a prime minister. And then beside him is he's a member of the royal family. He's a prince. His grandfather, who was the king, so his grandfather is named after the king Philemon Shumbwa here. So he's from the royal family and also supporting the Traditional Authority Trust. Abet Bam, that is his name. Okay, so sorry, it's not the ladies last. So maybe you should just answer this since you are very tall. That is our beautiful CEO. Her name is Jamie Nels. So she's the CEO of the Traditional Authority Investment Arm, business arm. And last but not least, we have Mr. Ratuno Kaputose. He is also a member of the royal family from the same Kambadembi's Loyal House. And he is in charge of the traditional authorities projects and community development. So, Your Majesty, that is our delegation. And while I have the floor, with humility, kindly allow me to just, in brief, explain the purpose of our visit to this beautiful land of freedom. We are here on a learning visit, on a benchmark. As I explained, that the three traditional leaders, they are in charge of traditional governance in Namibia. And anytime you have to govern or rule people, people always expect change. Because if it's business as usual, people will also get tired of a leader, because a leader is moving people from one position to another. So it is for that reason that the three majesty decided to get on a excursion visit of benchmark to Africa. We came to Uganda, and on our way home, because we are neighbors with South Africa, we passed in South Africa. So the first purpose of our visit is, of course, establishing traditional leader, because we have the same ancestors. And if you go back to history, all African ancestors are traced 4,000 years ago from sub-Eastern Africa. And if you look at our culture, although we were divided by the colonial boundaries, we are the same people. Our customs are the same people. Our people are the same people. And we need to celebrate each other. And we need to learn from each other. And that's exactly the first purpose of our visit. Now we now know that it's here. We never know that it's on the beautiful top mountain of the Nile. And definitely we would remember it and go and tell our people, and also probably come back again. The second part of our visit purpose is really to exchange ideas. So what is the relationship with the traditional leadership, chieftaincy, kingdoms in Ghana, in Uganda, and how is your relationship with government? Like I explained, that the Traditional Authority Council is a recognized council by the government of the Republic of Namibia. They work very closely with the government of Namibia, and they meet once a year with the president. But throughout the year, they of course also deal with governance affairs that either has to do with traditional matters or with community upliftment, which the government and the Traditional Authority are serving. So we would like to just have an understanding of what is the relationship between your traditional authority, your kingship with the government. Thirdly, we all know that traditional authorities they are the owners of the natural resources on behalf of their people. Although we have constitutional mandate and constitutional provision in our country that says that the land or the mineral resources below and beneath and above the land belongs to the state to dispute it on behalf of the people, traditional leaders are the owners of those mineral resources. So what is the beneficiation strategy? If, for example, there are mineral resources in your area, what is the beneficiation strategy between the kingdom and the government? If there are, if there is a local municipality or a city that falls within the traditional jurisdiction, what will be the relationship in terms of the traditional authorities and traditional communities benefit? Because we are now on the reawakening, the new Africa awakening in terms of saying we want maximum benefit for our people to participate and also to uproot poverty in our generation. So, and lastly, it's really to look at opportunities. Like I explained that we have a business investment company that would deal with diverse business opportunities or investment. So we feel that it's about time that traditional leaders do business with each other. And therefore, in our engagement, we'll hear from you what are the opportunities, or whether you also have the same business arm that is dealing with the traditional, because we heard about departments like education and research and others. Maybe is there any other type of business opportunities or investment that you are doing now or that we can do together in future? Of course, we can do it bilateral, but it's just to understand from the Prime Minister and your team that this is the type of investment that you are currently doing or the kingdom is doing, and then we would learn and we see how we can cooperate together. So that is the purpose of our visit here to this majestic kingdom this morning. Thank you so much.
In my culture, when we talk in front of people, either stand up or kneel. So don't worry.
From our sister kingdom, Uganda Royal Kingdom, members of the delegation, my prince, ministers of the kingdom, I take the honor, the single honor, on behalf of His Majesty and the Queen, to welcome you at this royal. It's a great day for us as KYABAZINGA Busoga, which is literally known as Busoga Kingdom, to have distinguished royal visitors today at the palace. I think, Madam, it's me whom you contacted. Is it you who called me? Yes. In your introduction, you mentioned that you are apologetic of approaching us at short notice. I want to tell you that as Busoga, we welcome visitors anytime. That's why we are here. So there is no question of being short notice. You are our brothers and sisters from Africa, and we're all here to promote culture. We are all here to see that our culture survives the time. Once again, I welcome you to Busoga Kingdom. And the brief introduction I want to give you is Busoga is centrally located in Uganda. You can see we are in the middle, almost in the middle. When you are coming from the north going the other side, you have to go through us. You come from this side going this side, you have to go through us. So we are centrally located with a population of close to about 4 million people, surrounded by lakes and rivers. And of course, you can see the imposing palace, which is overlooking the city and the waters. The famous River Nile starts from here, its journey to the Mediterranean. And we always say that when you reach Jinja, you come to Busoga, and we don't baptize you at the source of the Nile, then you have not visited Uganda. I don't know whether some of you have visited, Your Majesties, if you have visited Uganda before, or it is your first time. First time. You are most welcome. Yes. Busoga Kingdom is culturally grounded with structures from the king to the executive led by the Prime Minister, the Chiefs Royal Council led by the princes here, the Luchiko, which is our parliament, once the king says something, it is done. But at the same time, we enjoy a good relationship with government. As an institution, as a cultural institution, we are here to complement government in their programs. We are here to support government. We run our programs on our own, but at the same time, we also collaborate with government. These traditional institutions are elected by an act of parliament, so it is legit. And we are non-partisan as an institution. We don't participate in active politics. We are silent when it comes to the politics, because as culture, we embrace everybody. So everybody is under the king. All of them are sons and daughters of the king. So when they are pursuing their political agendas, the king just watches from a distance, and we go with whoever is successful. But we work closely with government, we work closely with the politicians, because at the end of the day, they also run so many programs which we have to collaborate. The Busoga Kingdom, we are engaged in several sectors. We have education, we have culture, we have tourism, we have agriculture. So we have several ministries that run the day-to-day of the institution. The executive is led by the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister oversees the day-to-day. He's the chief executive officer of the institution on behalf of the king. So we as deputies, we work directly under the office of the Prime Ministers, and the ministers work directly under office of the Prime Minister. Then we have the cultural, we have the head of the clan leaders, we have the Speaker of the Parliament, we have the Chiefs Royal Council. The Chiefs Royal Council is constituted of the 11 hereditary chiefs, because Busoga Kingdom is a composition of 11 hereditary chiefs who come together under the umbrella of KYABAZINGA wa Busoga. So I will invite now my Minister for Culture, first of all, to take us through our cultural setup.
Thank you.
Please, I've allowed you to sit. You can sit.
Minister. Our visitors today, but going by what this is a cultural institution. The kingdom of KYABAZINGA wa Busoga moves on 3 pillars, and that is the Luchiko, that is the parliament of the kingdom. Then we have the Chiefs Royal Council, where the council of our chiefs from the different chiefs, the loyals. Then we have the clans of Busoga. But all these, they look at it way back from our chiefdoms. Like he has said, we have the 11 chiefdoms. These chiefdoms have something in common. They are all the same people, coming from the same ancestors. But now each chiefdom has got a loyal chief. And one of the loyal chiefs from those chiefdoms is His Royal Highness Zawamzale Nkut here, heading one of the chiefdoms of the 11 chiefdoms we have. But those 11 chiefdoms are the one that makes the loyal council. The clans, we have many clans in Busoga, but of course we follow our culture. They are the do's and the don'ts in our culture. We look at peace, unity, respect, and love. But in all, the do's and don'ts protect us a lot as far as our culture are concerned. Like same clan mates, same clan, you cannot get married to your very same clan. The way we dress, what we eat differs from other cultures, even if we share a lot in common, but there are things that specifically we look at as Busoga. Like the way I've dressed now, this is our traditional wear. For women, they put on gomesi. For men, we put on the kanzus and the coats. But still, we look forward for decent dressing. Even if you have not dressed like I'm dressing, as long as you wear clothes that covers you up, we don't look at exposing our bodies in Busoga here. We respect our bodies, we respect a lot of things in common. There are things we don't eat. But above all, we respect the king, His Royal Highness, His Majesty, the KYABAZINGA. The reason why is the KYABAZINGA, the word KYABAZINGA means taking them all. So our KYABAZINGA is the one who is in charge of all those 11 chiefdoms. The other chiefs are his brothers. So the KYABAZINGA wa Busoga is an amalgamation of those 11 chiefdoms where we come from. We look at the culture and we look at the clans. You see, culture is the treasure of knowledge. The moment you run away from culture, you're running away from a lot of things to understand. But the clans are the custodians of culture. Because every Busoga has got his own clan. As like I've said, we share a lot from our ancestors. With the clans, we have totems. We look at clans with their totems and other things. Clans have got clan heads. We call them Abakungania. Those Abakungania, they have the clan heads council, which brings us together. One thing we have to look at, like how really we move with our culture, is the way we associate and work with other people, other chiefdoms, other kingdoms. Like I've said, there is love and unity. We share and we love our neighbors and friends as far as culture is concerned. For example, the Uganda kingdom. Those are our brothers and sisters there. And way back, we have from our past, KYABAZINGAs and the rest. That friendship has not just started now, but is way back, like sometime back. At one time, the late KYABAZINGA, Enova Komloji, the Kabaka, Sir Edward Mutesa, was the best man when it was during his wedding. So we have a lot of things. The friendship has not just started, but still, we look at culture outside Uganda and the kingdoms, the countries outside there. Of recent, King Mswati paid us a visit here, but even a delegation from the Busoga Kingdom, we had paid him a visit before he came with the king himself. What we exchanged what we had was good and for the better of our kingdoms. And it's on record that during his visit, the king was happy to be here at the Paris and what we exchanged. So your being here is not the first time for us to have other kingdoms coming here. We are very grateful and we are happy. We promise our support and cooperation. When it gets to development, business, partnership, whatever, the Katukiro has mentioned it and is still at service for the same. I thank you for being here for now, but I'm ready to come back to make some clarity.
Thank you very much. Mr. King, from the office of the King. She currently works from my office, where we have KYABAZINGA, the King's in the office. Run and of the king. The composition of KYABAZINGA initiative, I'm sure KYABAZINGA will take you through, but other than being head of partnership for the institution, I also double as the vice chairperson of the board, where the king himself is the chairperson. That is the KYABAZINGA initiatives. She's in charge of our brand. That's why it is very difficult for the king to be anywhere and you don't see her. She's one who knows where the king will sit, how he will sit, what is the proximity. She manages all. It's not an easy job. So she manages all that. So we call her to be in charge of the brand. And whenever we are doing something where the king is directly involved, she must clear it, because she knows, as the minister says, she knows the do's and don'ts of the activities that the king runs. So let me invite KYABAZINGA to take us through briefly about the office of the king that she handles, the brand, and also give some highlights on KYABAZINGA initiatives, and also the program we are running currently under the auspices.
Thank you so much, Right Honor. Thank you so much, Honorable. Once again, I'm glad to see you. We'll start right from the guidance of the Prime Minister. I am in charge of the king. The king is up there, but meaning that the brand, how does the king look in the eyes of everyone else, and what is he getting involved in is my business. I would say that we are a very privileged people. We have a king who loves his people deeply. With due respect to my head of clans here, he's a young man. I'm not supposed to say that. He's a young man who is mixing modernity and culture, but very passionate about his people's advancement. He drives all of us because of his passion for making this place better. The Prime Minister said we are about 4 million, but I think according to the recent census, we are approaching 6 million. And everyone is under the king, and he's revered, he's loved. So because of that, handling him is a big deal. He represents the pride of all those million people. And for us to make the institution relevant, the way we handle him matters a lot, because they are looking at him as the pride, as the representative of their culture and aspirations. So one, he does not get involved in things that are personal or just not strategic for the kingdom. So he will go and bless something which is strategic, because he's a brand. When he visits you, you get many things coming to you. So we make sure that he gets involved in things that are for the people. And actually, that is his drive. He wants to get involved in things that are for his people. Like the Prime Minister said, education, are the children going to school? Is the education standards improving? And he ascended to the throne about 10 years ago. It is coming to 11. And he's the fourth king from his lineage. We are privileged to have a queen. We had that wedding of the millennium on the African continent. I'm very sure you also saw it somewhere. She is a very beautiful queen, Inebantu, meaning the mother of the people. And she's from the royal family also of the Mutesis. And she's very passionate about family as the queen. The African family is one of her passions, and children. So in line with that, we make our programs to mirror the vision of the king and the queen. I'll talk about the partnerships. We have partnered a lot with the kingdoms within here and out, and also private sector. To be specific, the Cultural Institutions Act that established us. First of all, it didn't really establish us, but we were forced to be under the statehood scenario after the colonization. So later we have to be under the state instead of our former cultural institutions. So the act that established us did not give us power to levy taxes or to go and look for resources and say we are getting some money in the pockets. So we rely mainly on well-wishers and the subjects to fundraise for the king for these programs to go on. But currently, with the NRM government and His Excellency, the President, with the current king, there is such a very serious bond that the President has come out on very many occasions to support the king and the kingdom. We enjoy a very jovial relationship with even the first family members, including the son. And so we are really moving together to make sure that some of our programs move smoothly. She asked how we relate. That is how we relate, because the government in power is the one which holds the resources. So our relationships have to be good, and we don't have to be independent or trying to haggle and do other things contrary to government plans. Even our plans align with the national development plans. Our our actions and the things that we get involved in have to be in line with the government. To that far, the government supports the upkeep of the royals, especially the kings, with monthly stipends. Not enough, but something. And also it provides them transportation and security. Like when you came in, you see that we are protected by the security of the president. Okay, like at that level, the high level protection. We also in the ministry, we even have a ministry in the central government which handles our affairs, the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development. This ministry has a mandate to create programs through the cultural institutions. We're supposed to do benchmark with the kings. The government supports us to do benchmarks and getting out of the country to look for opportunities for our kingdoms. So basically the relationship is very good with government. It can be better in terms of resource sharing. Like you said, this region is full of minerals. We have gold, we have rare earth, we have even precious metals in here. But it belongs to the government, and the sharing right now is not fair because we have to just go through the district councils to be able to share with them the royalties. And I think Africa needs to wake up, because the people who normally invest in these minerals are not even our governments, but people from outside, and they take the lion's share. So we are very rich, but not doing well financially. We have the famous River Nile, the source is right there, the tourism is booming, but we don't have a right, and our king is the king of the Nile because of that. But we don't get resources from them. When you're hearing them hail us, hailing the king, we say it's like he's the owner of the Nile. He's this, but we are not cashing in on the what? On those natural resources. So I think with our current government, which is very responsive to people's issues, I think we can push together. The other agenda through the Prime Minister here, which the king is this: why are Africans not coming together as kings and hold our culture to our chests? Because there is a lot out there which is coming to attack our culture, and we need to hold on to, safeguard it, and make sure it doesn't get lost. So, and at the African Union, we need to go and make this as a serious agenda, because so many continents have developed using their culture. Our culture is very rich in terms of dance, of music, of the things that can be seen. We have the animals, and everything is right here. But we are being pushed, especially the institution of the family is being pushed hard. So we need a united front to come out. Even when our political leaders can't speak out, we can use our voices at the African Union and say many things. The other thing which I'd like to talk about is the hand of the king, and get private companies to come and partner with us. Private companies like telecoms, like many people. If the king was here, you would most likely have trouble coming up. I'm not supposed to announce on TV, but he's not around right now. But if he was here, people, if there is a function and the king is there, there are many people. We are always having 100,000 people hovering around him wherever he goes. And those people, whoever is seen supporting the king, will be supported. If it's a telecom, people will use that telecom company. We have activities that the king gets involved in, like sports, where it mobilizes the youth and he talks to them, but also these companies are looking for people, so they have to come on board. So we are privileged. The head of partnerships brought on board the biggest telecom company, maybe in Africa, MTN, but who is our partner here. We also, they fund most of our activities. We also have Huawei, we have banks, we have people who come and associate with our activities so that they can leverage the brand. We are also getting support from the Basoga themselves. When there is an event, they will pay to come, or they will pay to come and have dinner with the king. And there meanwhile, it's not just paying. The king makes sure it goes, part of it goes to serve his subjects. So about the KYABAZINGA initiatives, I think I'm taking a lot of time. The KYABAZINGA initiatives, this is a special purpose organization. The king, after watching what is happening here, if you read the statistics, are not very good. He was like, I am tired of the development indicators being very bad in my kingdom. Poor health standards, very poor education outcomes. We are very poor in terms of household incomes. So he's like, we need to do catalytic interventions that makes our people to move forward. And currently, he is very concerned about the teenage pregnancy. It is a global issue right now. Everywhere, even in America, children are giving birth at a very low age of 13, and there are very many in number. And in Uganda, we are about the third worst place to be hit by that. And that does not only take away the children's future, but it threatens our existence, because we are having citizens who are not responsible becoming mothers and fathers. So because of the work he has been doing, the United Nations recognized him in December as the Goodwill Ambassador for ending teenage pregnancy nationally. And we have we have come together with 5 UN agencies, the UNAIDS, WHO, UNICEF, and the UNICEF, WHO, UNFPA, UNESCO, to come together and put resources together so that we can see that teenage pregnancy ends in the country. Our approach is different. We are using culture, not necessarily the conventional civil society approaches. We are appealing to the men to take back their positions, because in this country we are having a challenge. I think research is showing that the women movement campaigns that made us to become a bit bold and better has weakened the male, and also the male is not responsible, maybe because of the globalization. So according to the king's guidance, he's like, we are supposed to remind our men that they are the pillars. So the campaign is called Abasaada Nempango. Men are the pillars in the family. Men are the pillars in education of the children. Men are the pillars in the looking after of the health of the family. So basically, that is the campaign slogan which we are moving. And he guided that, okay, teenage pregnancy is here, but I want you to handle what is driving the teenage pregnancy. And we have identified about 6 of them. We are saying number 1 is poverty. Number 2 is the school dropouts are just too much. In Uganda, if 100 girls enroll in a year, by P6 you have only 40 remaining, and wherever the 60 has gone is to make babies and all that. So we are going to be focusing mainly on keeping children in school, especially the girls, and also feeding them. The other aspect of poverty is to make sure that household incomes are increasing. So we have partnered with the PDM. PDM is a government program which is giving youth money to do business. So we are strengthening it, and through our culture, where we are appealing to the traditional roles of everybody in our culture, because we have Sengas who nurture the girls. We have Senga is paternal auntie. We have Kojas who are supposed to look after the. So we are reminding them to take their roles seriously, and also to make sure that we are using slogans which touch their souls. For example, if they say omusajja omusaadde omwavu awerera nkukulumbe, if I don't know how even to put that. If you tell a man,
The poor man
if you are poor,
who collects firewood
at their in-laws,
at the in-laws function.
so
Literally, that means that he's poor. And you know poverty comes with a lot of demeaning things. So part of the demeaning things is that you're not even fetches water when there's a function that...
at your in-laws' place. So it is demeaning. So if you appeal to that, then you'll see men doing something about it. So I think basically I have touched everything.
Because it's doing wonders, because it is bringing people together, it is bringing harmonization, because our African setup, our African culture, and as the minister again rightly mentioned, culture is getting extinct. This new era has come with so many things. So it is incumbent upon us as Africans to come together, safeguard jealously, because the Western world lost its culture a long time ago. Okay? Long time ago. That's why you see they are fighting so hard to see why are these, they call us stupid Africans, why are we so stuck in our culture? So we have to come together. Our kings have to form that organization to see that they frequently interact, exchange programs, exchange ideas. I heard when Madame was explaining, there's a lot of similarity in our culture. There's a lot in music, in so many things, and even other cultural activities. So I think that's one area as Africans that we have to look into to see that we jealously guard our culture. It is now, not yesterday, because the world is moving very fast. These gadgets have brought so many things. They're intoxicating our youth. Our youths are coming to learn so many things. You have heard of what is going on. For us, we still pride ourselves here because our president refused to pass that law. And they said, we are going to put sanctions on you. He said, okay, go ahead with your sanctions. But I have to preserve the culture. For us, we don't know. For us, a man has to marry a woman. A man can never marry a man. What is this? A woman can never marry a woman. For us, we don't have that culture. That is not in our culture. So those are the things we have to fight, we have to promote, because parents are going through a lot. I was reading a certain article here. I'm sure it has been in social media everywhere, where they are saying that parents just can't talk, but they are going through a lot, you see. So it is important to strengthen these cultural ties, to strengthen these cultural institutions. The Interreligious Council has to come in, because even the religious aspect has to work closely with these cultural institutions to see that the culture is really preserved. Invite Madame Education, or she presents, then we go for breakfast, whatever is convenient for you. Can we leave her finished, then we can do at once? Or we do the breakfast first? Oh, we do the breakfast first. Yes. Okay, okay. Then Madame.
We may have no development, because it is the best tool that can be used for development. And our king is yearning to see that each and every individual develops, because it is from individuals that we get the homes, that we get communities, that we shall get a country and nations. So education is one of the pillars where he's putting emphasis during his reign. When we talk about education, as a ministry, KYABAZINGA bwa Busoga, we are not looking at only formal education. We look at all sectors of education, where we have formal education, informal education and non-formal education, especially bearing the cultural factor. So we are basing on the cultural aspect, where we have the non-formal, so that we have a child who comes from home, at least when they know how to greet, they know to respect elders. Because without respect, without a child, because they say charity begins at home. So there is a lot of emphasis from home up to school and then back home. Because even if individuals are coming from home to go for formal education, again they end up at home and in the communities. But we are working also with the education sector, the Ministry of Education, within the government. We work with the district education officers. We work with some officials from the Ministry of Education. We work with the inspectors of schools. And we also have in our structures ministers of education at the cultural levels, at the chiefdom levels. Because we have KYABAZINGA, which takes the whole of Busoga Kingdom, but then we have the chiefdoms. So the structures at the chiefdom level also have the education ministers. Now, what we do, we take our programs both from the lower levels and also from KYABAZINGA backwards to the chiefdoms. We have also got partners who are working with us as education, because education is wide. We are not only considering the academic part of it, but looking at even like when the Minister for KYABAZINGA Affairs was addressing us, he was talking about the school dropouts. What do we do with them? So we have initiatives like the Busoga, the Gabula Royal Foundation, which is handling the skilling part of it, the vocational part. Many youth have been skilled so that they can have a future where to start from. Then we are, yeah, so many of them, over 40,000. And they are always blessed by the king himself after being trained, and some of them even get tools where to start. Then we also have the KYABAZINGA bursary scheme at the kingdom level, where we look at students who have excelled, but when they are financially incapacitated, we work with the schools, secondary, tertiary, up to university level. These students come and apply through a simple form, and then we look at what their priorities are, and we try to fix them where we can. We don't have the money to give the schools, but we have worked with our schools, including universities. We invite them, talk to them, to give us bursaries in kind, because the Busoga Kingdom doesn't pay them. We take example of schools where we have students who are being helped without paying anything, but when they excelled in their education. Then some of them, they pay just a bit, like they can be given a percentage to enable them also stay in schools. And at the end of the day, as KYABAZINGA bwa Busoga, we realize big amounts of money, but in kind. Which money is being given to the kingdom to help the students attain education, but when we have not paid it there. As we talk now, we boast of around 12,000 students within the last 10 years. And when we try to estimate how much money, we are in billions. I don't know how I can put it, maybe in dollars, but we are over 10 billion, in over 10 billion.
It's about $3 million.
Yeah. So education is getting a lot of money, but through our king's brand. Because the people love their king, they have been availing so many students bursaries for them to attain education. and many of them now have joined the working force. We are proud about that because we know Busoga is moving. Then we have initiatives which are looking at helping schools cope up, even the teachers. We have an organization like Busoga Education Initiative. This one is also helping us. They have partnered with KYABAZINGA Busoga, where they have made our king the patron. These ones are now basically at the schools looking at how can we improve the education standards in schools. And they are doing it well because it is also being done with the Ministry of Education. Directly, they help us in funding, and then also individuals come up and also give scholarships. There are some individuals who went through Busoga, they are well off now, they can help us educate 1, 2 children in schools, and they pay. Some of them pay, some of them go to schools, and they ask them to help our learners. So basically, that is what I can say, but we are working with everyone through the established structures in education. We are working with the politicians because there are many policies in education which we need to be implemented, and we are one. As a cultural institution, we need development. The politicians need the policies to be put into practice. We have the RDCs, representatives of the president at district level. These ones are also brought on board to help us disseminate the messages to the people as they go on with their work. The media has helped us a lot to put up our messages. Every other time we have messages, we use them a lot, and it has helped us change greatly the education in KYABAZINGA Busoga. I think with that brief, my colleague talked about the teenage pregnancies, school dropouts, and child labor. These are some of the issues that we are looking at as the major challenges in education, and it touches almost every ministry, KYABAZINGA Busoga. So we normally collaborate. If Ministry of Gender is working, we work with education. If education is working, we shall also incorporate health like that, so that we have at the end of the day a meaningful engagement, and then Busoga scores. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
That's where the place is full, and yet we have just a few of them. Everybody is looking at the king to give solutions, and we are really stressed with the kind of demand. Even these ones, the teenage mothers, when they are finishing the skilling, everyone wants a kit to go and start, but there are challenges. So I just wanted to say that as something which maybe resonates.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Steve. So, here we
Kesi kan stira gerami idi ain hanu hiara go ho chinen hu e turung as tingaloma.
I am very thankful for this opportunity to be able to come to this very learning interaction.
Turo hoya kese ra thinge de ke nail a piramian a hiara dida papers kaba hutuira kumai abaro go team muraka ichma mu krisnasa.
The first thing that pleased me so much is for me to see the Nile River, which I only hear and read from the Bible with my
Nebabke Prime Minister wa ko miha I politike ngare ke kaise tobe sindo mahang hau ngabe tai wida au ta hui auti.
I heard the Prime Minister said we are apolitical, not aligned to politics, because we are traditional.
Kabe politiki ti traditional tai twistin ke kariro se kai ngai hau.
But there is a bit of overlap between political part and tradition.
Tira ke kaise ko akhi Nevada ko akhi o tira ko ti mura ka amu o ain ani ke hain huba sesta kuri kun ngak ke ngoraba ni di in khasira mosen no kun da tai tu bin ai ngak ke.
I am so impressed and happy to see that because of our history, the colonialized countries are so well kept and developed to this level by our own people. That makes me so happy.
Erop ke wada koi isiban wage kurun ori koinchina habe ke horaka Afrika ban ina khake dominere han tike chai to ye ha I tingen ina ke domdoma ha I Afrika ti kun ke tuban gagran how each man in chai to ko ti se hinka ka kostuzani.
Yeah. God made white and black people, but the white people believe that we as black people can never work together, develop countries to the stage that we are now recognized as independent states with well-developed infrastructure.
Sira ke sira thai fiatach kurin hier da chai tu au se han ngare ke ne fiatach in guri pe de batriti tira kimya ngu kwendi chai tu sa haniba haramu karang hukunga ke sira mata ke sira kan.
And I am very pleased to see in my 40 years of being a king that I am a leader in my community. After 40 years, I can see so much development has taken place, and it pleases me in my 40th year of kingdom.
Saro dane tin tini kwan ui saro ho huete ke mundma ko se du ke tira ka tin ha tin ti china aichmang wa ti tuin ate ko ere am ti job ai ko hui tuan ti kha sense ti mai du ke oni sirang wa tira ke sira kan.
I don't have much to question what you have presented because by coincidence you have almost answered all my questions. And what makes me so pleased is that you finally talked about development of young people, like education and so on. That is something very close to my heart, and I'm happy what I've learned from you.
Conference dura traditional leader dura ti kau am tuma dira tam kha togu chitani sinada togu ra ko ngam ore ke kaisi tu khunara en sin sara chai tu out that umingman kiana kaisi sene ko.
And when I heard about the efforts that are being made about teenage pregnancies and related, should I say evil, unwanted practices, it is so close to my heart that I am keen to learn more, especially about those evils in our society, like teenage pregnancies and young people dropping out of schools, all those.
Nesidra ankaus ke tisi tubing a haraka kun haudike nikarit na koe tisake kon ngam. Ang sab madagara iyo.
If I'm not wrong, I understood that there are 11 different cultural groups in this area.
Princess.
Same culture, but
Clans.
Clans.
Yeah, clans.
Clans.
Okay.
Chima clans was tisi doing ana huske nera tiran nga kaiskimi I chaju de wa.
And I understand every clan has almost this setup of leadership with infrastructure.
Sin unisi kurit nga ti oraka terang how igoro hun khadinin wa ti hukti chaju ya option anin anse.
do the 11 clans towards the end of the year or in a year come together to consolidate their issues and brief the, yeah?
Yes.
Aungabe tai tui aona hupti masip ne bareke kon ngau ambata ke kutira season hupkabiga da ke an hwat kakabeng hupnga haka ngaka hai waike anupti kamata kira hona.
It sounded almost similar to our situations, but I want to find out, resources-wise, what we found above the earth is for the TAs, but resources underground belongs to the state. Gold, diamonds, and so on. If they are found underneath, then they belong to the state. Do I understand you correct? Yes.
Madis tan hau ngabe tai tuiti hian idiko kai sisene koyan aiti kara sisendera dom dore ngabaku.
How does the traditional authorities benefit from the resources that we talk about under the ground?
Kaise sisene ken hau ngabe tai tuiti neba koyan ais kara sisendera kira ngonga habe we pian koeba who in the secret presentation era oh.
By my understanding, the traditional authorities has got the mammoth task in communities and is doing exceptionally hard work in the communities. Do they, in a way, get, I should not, maybe for the lack of the better word, I can just say compensation from the government?
It is called royalties.
Royalties.
No, we are not. In the law, it's not there.
Hodma.
How ngabe tai twisting hoop ai ke nekwenanga in the forefather and how ngabe tai twisting hoop ai neng hoop ai ra tie john anum kha kuna inara ma am mastion hanu ban ngaba prakisi kuera di.
Does the traditional authority in its area of jurisdiction have some power to approve what government is doing in their area?
Not at all.
Hanu ke Ibrahim ngaba kaisi Ibrahim ngaba huchina traditional consent oserati.
Government can do what it wants without the consent of the DA. Is that
Even to allocate the land.
No, they do what they call consultative meetings.
consultative meeting?
Yeah. Yeah. But the government will go further without the consent of the traditional leaders.
Yes.
And traditional leaders have nothing to say.
No.
We just contribute, and sometimes it is taken, sometimes it can be.
Yeah.
If it is a good
suggestion,
then
yeah.
they can take it up.
Yeah.
If not,
Yeah.
it is up to the government to decide.
Did I get case kanibane but we go me? Did I get case close? Opting hand of already to go me.
I was so happy to understand that you are working very closely with government. It made me so happy.
Sidating cases sidating Hanuka closer as is are.
We too work very close with our government.
Sida wadang nuda get come idan Hanuba Hun Huba Hoka, Sing Huba the Hotuas Kaukna the One Mekar Sida are come over Sida Kesia Kankan, Hanuka Duras is in Areki.
We all fought for independence, those that are in government today, and us at the TAs, and therefore we cannot afford to fight each other like we were fighting for independence against the governments. So there is a need for us to find each other and work together.
Ne trees, nerago trees, Nasarake, Saru Tai, Hunarati, Gaina, Sida Tina, I Nas is in Areba Sadang Agoha, water and how Nabe Chai to Yao, National Magwati.
We are only here to understand from you what you are doing and what we are doing so that we can exchange and strengthen our working, but in good relations with governments.
kaisi lagi ni kan ni sisa ho ain apka ni ngari I kakasani han satan nga sida ni sising are kaisa sadu tini ning abini sisida dwa sisida tina ni kri ida Afrika pura kapnga tuiti I tai tuina uha ngabe tai tuitira Miss Hawkins.
I will be very happy if we can, through this process, build a relationship of working together so that we can work towards have a united Africa, even as traditional authorities for development of our people.
Matitani dom doreng uitia koeba hun au ngabe tai tuistina kais nasa de ke mut platform ini ho I daning hwa
Yeah, and we can, through this unity, find ways how we can address the issue of benefiting from our resources in our areas with those that are in government.
How ngabe tai tuistin ke kan hanu tap kemi keiste keising ngasa sisenra di ting how ngabe tai tuis osep king nganuba mariko tai ba ungat man ice to establish siseng are kaisa.
Without the TA governments do not have such power to reach out to the communities. Therefore, our TAs has got a very important role to play for the government to function properly, to work together with the TAs.
Kan takera nedako tris aroma ida turungas a tisnesan unisna hitma tida in apkani siseng are kaisa tinin torako kai hun aidinga dane dina.
I thank you, and I am looking forward that this is not the only time, the first and the only time, but this is the beginning of us working together. And I missed that in the previous talk. I will be happy to invite you also, so you come to our country and see how we are operating as the TAs.
Kay kan sila kay tabi ka ba kuha nga ba ora ka na kore ba neng kupi
Then kay kan means thank you, and I just want to add by saying that in Namibia, and I believe in Africa as a whole, we have two languages from which other languages developed as we settle around different places and so on. One group is called the Bantu group, and they have developed their languages and so on. But there is one group, and we have another group, mostly in Africa, known to the masters of the Southern Africa, and they are the groups that cliques like us, click. In those things. My chief is from the clicking group in Namibia, one of the clicking groups. We also have the Nama. If you go to South Africa, you have the Xhosa people, like the Xhosa, like the Comrade Mandela, and so on. So they also click. So he is part of the clicking nation, and those people are called, we are from the Khoisan communities. Khoisan. We are Xhosas, Tamara, San people, and so on. They are Khoisan, and our commonalities is the cliques that we have. And the other Guni tribes, they don't click. They have a language without cliques, like the Zulu, the Bele in Zimbabwe, and it goes up and so on. We all are coming from the north. So that's from where my chief is, and he is from the Oegan clique.
That is my community, the name of my community.
Thank you very much.
They are the first settlers to come into that place, so they are the owners, all of us small later. Yeah, so there are over around 1 million people that speak the Khoisan language. They are around 7 languages. It's a beautiful language.
sure whether we have further questions. Okay, small one.